Hey, hey, what's happening out there, everyone in YouTube land? It's Saturday. You know what that means. Time for another excruciatingly awesome episode of ABW Detonate right here on YouTube. I am the old school AB, being joined once again by the bard of the boiler room, the deacon of distressity, the pontiff of pain himself, the one and only Kind Man. How you doing today, Kind Man?
I'm doing great. I'm more awake than you are.
That is true. That is true. I had to go take a nap. What a brutal way to start the day. I'm getting too old for this shit, as they say in the movies.
Well, luckily Australia pay-per-views are few and far between. So
Right. And I think this is the next one coming up from Germany. That one's going to be a little easier, I think. That's going to be
there is something in Germany, I believe. July,
August,
maybe
or July or August. Yeah. Anyways, I am positive that that's going to yield a better result. It's going to air at like 10 in the morning instead of like 6 or something.
Yeah, because I watch a lot of European soccer.
Yeah.
And the earliest games start is 7:30 in the morning.
Right.
And they go through 3 p.m.
Yeah.
So, which is 8 o'clock their time. So you got to look at it. It's only 5 hours ahead.
Right. That's not terrible.
Right.
But
I always have trouble when I'm watching those games because it's 7:30 in the morning, and those blokes over there in England are drinking beer. So why shouldn't I?
When in Rome, right?
Yeah.
That's right. But no, it is a rough start. I had to go take a nap. I was bragging on our Discord server that I was going to He-Man this shit. I'm not going to take a nap. I'm going to power through it. No. I had to go and lay down and take a nap. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be waking up at ungodly hours.
I don't think any less of you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not waking up at ungodly hours to watch pay-per-views anymore, unless it's a really, really, really important show or really, really good. Unless they have Santa Claus wrestling Jesus for something, I don't know. But
I was getting nervous because as soon as I got up, I popped it on, but it brought me to like live.
Oh yeah.
And I tried to rewind really quick, but then it wouldn't let me rewind the whole way. So I started watching the tag team title match, thinking that was the first match, but I could see that I didn't rewind it all the way to the beginning. But I figured whatever they wouldn't let me go through was maybe the pre stuff. And then all of a sudden it's at the end of the men's tag team match, and they reference, well, we already know the women's matchup for WrestleMania, and I was like, oh my God, stop.
Yeah.
Before they said anything. So.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, why don't we dive right into that since we're talking about it already? What are your overall thoughts? I don't know. I think it was probably because I was just so zonked and tired, but I didn't think the show was all that great. Maybe it wasn't great to wake up for. It was just meh.
Well, I don't think I would have felt the same way if I got up at 4 a.m. That it wasn't worth getting up at 4 a.m.
No.
But I did think it was a pretty good show. I think the challenge with Elimination Chamber, no matter how good they do it, is it's slow.
Yeah.
It's slow because there is so much physicality and so many things that they got to give everyone breaks. Though I know we're not going to start with the men's match, but the men, they were gassed.
Oh, yeah.
Like gassed. And a few of them, I think, really, really hurt. And there were some signs that they were not just the Randy Orton thing, but other things. But we can get to the men's in a little bit.
Sure.
I think those matches tend to be slow.
Yeah.
And I don't think there was a lot of intrigue outside of those two matches. I mean, we can get into all of them, but the Grayson Waller thing was forced. It
was an excuse to put a microphone in an Australian's hands.
Yeah, but it was weird. But like last night, they Roman Reigns called Grayson Waller in, and they made it so that we thought something was going to happen in that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What's the back? Why did Roman Reigns call Grayson Waller? And if there was no ambush, if there was no You know what I mean? It just it seemed poorly planned out. There's no reason why Roman needed to talk to Grayson Waller based on how that played out. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Oh, I do. And you're right. You know, we can talk about the setup of this thing all day long, right? But you know, I think they've this isn't the first time they've screwed something up on the road to WrestleMania. They screwed the biggest match up first, so everything else is just peaches. I don't know. I don't even know if that was a screw up on their part. Maybe it was just an expectation that was subverted, so to speak.
Yeah,
I
but
hate using that term, but
don't make a subtle clue, like that. Like,
sure,
the tribal chief wants to talk to you, Grayson Waller, and then
right.
bring him in, and then he's all nervous, and then you know what I mean? And it seemed like they were foreshadowing something that, and then I just thought the Grayson Waller effect thing just fell flat. It just, you got an Australian hosting it. You got a guy coming in before the host making fun of Australia. Then you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It seemed disjointed and didn't seem, and it's like, okay, did Grayson Waller not step in when Austin Theory, who by the way is jacked,
yeah,
when he got beat up, did Grayson Waller not step in because Theory was making fun of Australia? Like I don't none of it may I don't know, maybe not, but it was just a segment that I wish I had back that I could have just skipped over.
yeah. I actually feel differently about it. I mean, not wholly differently about it, but we'll get to it.
Okay.
Um, let's start the show with the and I have to confess, I did not watch the pre-show. I wasn't going to wake up an hour earlier to
Okay.
watch a bunch of people talk about
Yeah.
stuff and watch the tag title match. I didn't think the titles were going to change hands anyway,
No. No,
so I
I
didn't.
did watch that match just because I thought it was part of the show because I was just fast forwarding
Right,
to get each thing. But yeah, Kabuki Warriors won. No
sure,
surprise there.
yeah,
But the only intrigue there was Indy Hartwell is Australian. So would
oh yeah,
they throw her a bone there? But no, they
okay,
didn't.
no, no, yeah. So Indy Hartwell doesn't get to finish her story.
Yeah, no, not in
um,
not in our Australian home.
right on. So the less said about that match, the better, probably.
Yep.
Let's talk about the opening match a little bit. Um, Becky Lynch defeated Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez to punch her ticket to WrestleMania to wrestle, the winner of Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley coming up. And boy, howdy, wouldn't you know it? Um, Becky Lynch wins. And I actually had this one pegged completely wrong. I thought Bianca Belair was going to win.
Well, I thought Tiffany Stratton was going to win,
Right,
and I thought she was the star of the match. Tiffy time.
right.
She was. I thought she was the best. I thought she was the best wrestler in either match today, as far
Okay.
as most entertaining. Um, but they do something now that I always notice in these matches, and it's frustrating because I know when someone's going to get eliminated. Because whenever anyone does anything like fantastic,
Right,
like takes out five girls on a moonsault from the top of the thing, I'm like, okay, she's gonna get knocked out now. She just did her big
right.
moment.
That was your
Now she's
spot.
gone.
Yeah.
They did the same thing to Lashley. Not that I care that Lashley was eliminated, but as soon as Tiffy Time did her moonsault, taking out all five girls off the top of the thing, I was like, oh no. I really thought they were gonna have I and okay, so I was wrong. When we look at the two winners of these matches,
Mhm.
I had said a couple shows ago, that I really felt like they were making a shift from old school to new school in a couple of these storylines. And boy, did they prove me wrong.
Yeah.
There's only one way they could have made me more wrong, and that's on the men's side with who it came down to in the last two. But um, Yeah, I thought Tiffany Stratton was fantastic. I thought Liv Morgan was fantastic. I thought that was the best match of the night.
Oh,
But
nice.
I was really disappointed in the result because I really wanted Tiffany Stratton to win. I thought Tiffany Stratton versus Rhea Ripley is just a such perfect storyline for WrestleMania because
Yeah.
they're just so polar opposites.
Yeah. Juxtaposition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I thought Tiffany Stratton showed off amazingly well.
And she did, and I'll give her props where they're due, look.
I mean, did you see some of the strength stuff she did?
Yeah.
And on top of the gymnastics and all of that, like she's the real deal.
Yeah, she's going to have plenty of chances coming up here in the next 5 years to punch her ticket. I think she's going to be a future Rumble winner.
Yeah, I didn't know she was that strong. Like I thought she was more of a gymnast, more of a high flyer and all that stuff. But she does her bit well. She's strong. She can high fly. She's gymnast. I think she has worked her way up on my faves.
She's your R-Truth.
She is like it's her and Chelsea Green are probably two of the wrestlers I enjoy the most.
That's fantastic.
Maybe it's just sarcastic women that like Valley Girl, like that think they're the center of the universe. Maybe maybe it's just that bit I love.
Well, yeah, and I mean hand in hand. I mean, what you're saying there goes hand in hand with my thought process on Dr. Britt Baker over on AEW.
Yep.
She was the ultimate mean girl for years over there on that show. So, but yeah, she'll have plenty of opportunity in the future to get her opportunities, her WrestleMania opportunities. And speaking of somebody who may not get a WrestleMania opportunity, is R-Truth, who booked a flight to Austria. Since we're bringing him up, did you see that on social media?
No.
Yeah, R-Truth landed in Austria and then asked where everybody was. Where is everybody? Where's everybody at the hotel? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's the gag for him this time around. They continue to use him in the most appropriate and entertaining of ways.
Nothing like flashing to R-Truth in Vienna.
That's right. But no, so that was a fun little jab there, a little spot. Women's match over with, and as we said before, it is Becky Lynch who is gonna go on to face the winner of the future match between Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax. So I don't know. I'm okay with it. I really wish I'm kind of like you. I really wish it was somebody else at this point, but maybe they gotta put. I don't know. I think they're gonna put Rhea Ripley over. I think Rhea Ripley is gonna pin Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, and that's why they're choosing Lynch at this point, because they want someone strong to put her over. That's just my humble first opinion,
Yeah.
10,000 foot view, but what do I know?
Yeah, no, it's makes sense. But as I said, I was disappointed because I thought they were going younger with some of these storylines.
Yeah.
That
young upstart Becky Lynch.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Up next, we had the match that you caught right off the tag here. The tag team title match between Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Who defeated New Catch Republic. I guess that's what they're calling themselves now. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. And I like New Catch Republic. I have a few problems with, and it's not with them in general, it's with the overall product. And this was never more apparent when I watched this, and I got to get this off my chest. When these two come out, Tyler Bate and what's his name? Pete Dunne. Sorry. When they come out, they both, in unison, at the top of the stage, hit their little poses where Pete Dunne does this little thing where he puts his fists up to his chin, and Tyler Bate does the abbreviated Hulk Hogan pose where he's pointing to the, sky. it's just so rehearsed. It's just so staged and so phony looking. Do they have to do it like that? I like my wrestling to be a little more real. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
just me. It's just an observation. Well, like I said, everybody does it, but for whatever reason, the camera angle or something stuck in the angle that, and it just caught me right off, right there. I'm like, this is stupid. This looks phony. This looks fake. This looks hokey, and
You
I
know
don't
what
like
I don't
hokey
like
wrestling.
when that guy like pulls your fingers like backwards or
Oh
stuff. It's
yeah, Pete Dunne.
like okay, come on. Like if he was really doing that, these people would have broken fingers every match.
Well, I was going to bring that up. Did you see Finn Balor nursing his thumb at the end of the match?
I did see some blood on a hand, but I didn't.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to his hand in that match. Maybe there'll be an injury report or something to that effect. I didn't see anything happen, but as
Right.
best as I could tell, he was just selling for
Yeah, I mean
Pete
that's most
Dunne's
likely yeah because
hand.
if that guy was actually doing what he's showing us,
Right, you'd be
that's
you'd be on you'd be on the floor for a very long time. You'd be down for the count, crying for your mammy. But no, I thought it was a good little match. I didn't know if this was my favorite match on the card. I suppose it was probably tied for my favorite match on the card by default, just because I mean, I like tag team wrestling anyway. But and not that this was a great tag team match or anything. Could you believe the nuclear heat Dom got? He got the biggest pop of the night. He got the biggest crowd reaction of the night with his boos. They booed that kid out of the building.
they do. They everywhere, and I mean when all of a sudden you put 50,000 in versus the normal 18 to 20, it's going to be loud. But yeah, he's really that's the bit like, and obviously they played up on it because they had him rip the microphone from the ring announcer to announce the Judgment Day, and as soon as he does that, the boos are going to come in, so you're not even going to get the introduction of them. It was perfect, and I mean he actually saved the match, but it's one of those ones where they're not losing, so like anyway, but I thought it was a good match.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
But there were times when it looked like Judgment Day was going to be pinned, but you just still knew they weren't going to get pinned.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of kills the enjoyment. I think in some of these matches now, more so today than in a long time, like we know who's going to win these matches.
Yeah. It's easier to figure it out.
I think it's even more like because I remember when we started doing these bets, like last WrestleMania and everything, like every match, I had no freaking clue. I really felt like it was flipping a coin.
Right.
And maybe WrestleMania will be that way because because all the matchups are gonna be top notch.
Right. They'll do a good job building up
where there's a storyline for
Right.
both people to win. But it just feels like a lot of these matches, you just know who's gonna win.
Yeah.
And we could talk about that in the upcoming matches, which pretty much every match after this, we kind of knew who was gonna win.
Yeah. Yeah, more or less. I mean,
Yeah.
the list results kind of read themselves off. I mean, what else do we got on the show? Grayson Waller effect. We talked about that a little bit, but I didn't so much mind this as a segment. Its only purpose really was to set up Cody versus Rock match or some type of variant thereof, whether that turns into a tag team match with Rollins and Roman Reigns, or whether it's just a straight one-on-one. I don't know.
It would be both.
Could be.
There'll be both of those matches between now and WrestleMania. Yeah. There'll be Cody versus The Rock. I think I've said it in a previous show. I believe that there will be a stipulation in that match that if The Rock wins, it becomes a triple threat match at WrestleMania. And then I also think there'll be a Reigns, Cody, Rock, Seth tag team match too.
Yeah. That's the rumor going around the rumor mill. That's gonna headline night one of WrestleMania.
That just means Rock has to show up twice in the next 2 months.
He's got to work 2 times in the same month. Jeez Louise.
Oh, I'll give you my highlight of the Grayson Waller effect. Okay, and for the listeners, you might have to go back and watch it again.
Was
I
it when
don't
they
want to say
drank beer out of their shoes?
no. My favorite part is Rollins, and I'm not a big Seth Rollins guy. His outfit. Go back. It is fan fucking tastic. It's like a baggy space sweatsuit with a ton of pockets. That thing, I'm an old man. Okay. And I'm about to hit a big birthday next week. My first birthday has mattered in about a decade. So I'm an old man. But that sweatsuit was fucking fantastic. Go back and check what
I'll have to do that. I
Rollins
wasn't paying
gear.
much attention to the man's threads, but I'll check it out.
Yeah, Rollins gear was amazing.
You like sweat clothes and things like that, don't you? You're
Yeah,
yeah,
I like comfortable clothing, and that
yeah.
looked. I mean, you could go straight from being interviewed from Grayson Waller to bed in that outfit. It looked like it was. Although there were all these things coming off the top that
Right.
I don't know how hard they were or if they were uncomfortable, but that was you pick up on the new whatever Catch Republic, entering the ring, and I pick up on
Yeah.
Seth Rollins gear.
Little things, little details that we all catch. That we've all been fans of this thing for so long that, you know, we tend to notice these things a lot easier, I think. But no, I'm with you. I love wearing, comfortable clothes. I mean, look at me. I'm the very modern model of comfort. But I have a couple of jackets over there that I really enjoy. I love my Cody Rhodes hoodie that I got here recently. That thing is really nice. I was able to wear that outside the other day for my walk. It was fantastic. And then, of course, my favorite one, the CM Punk jacket. But we won't get into that. Maybe I'll wear the CM Punk jacket for an episode. Who knows? It'd be very hard to see it. You're like, what is he wearing? Anywho, um, so yeah, we had a bit of a promo out there. Rhodes says he's going to face The Rock anytime, anywhere. Seth Rollins says, "I'll be your Huckleberry." Therein lies the setup, I guess. And then, of course, they sent the crowd home happy by beating the shit out of Austin Theory, who mocked The Rock in as many ways as he could. Or I guess he didn't mock The Rock; he imitated The Rock to annoy
Annoy Cody,
Cody and Seth probably,
ending up in a flying Cody cutter.
yeah. The Cody crybabies were in full effect that night, let me tell you.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, the men's Elimination Chamber match saw Drew McIntyre go over Logan Paul, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, and Kevin Owens in what I would call my second favorite match of the night. Even though there probably wasn't a ton doing, it was your average chamber match. You're right. It's slow, it's boring, it's methodical, but I enjoyed the ending of it. I didn't see a path for Drew McIntyre to win this thing if he was going up against it one-on-one with Randy Orton. And by the way, that's who it wound up being towards the end. I never saw interference coming, so I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I didn't like the. So I had said this prior that I thought the only two people that could win this were Drew McIntyre and LA Knight.
Yeah.
And the reason I said LA Knight is because they had to have a storyline for him in WrestleMania. They have to get him back up on the horse after that loss to Roman.
Right.
So I thought that was a possibility, although I was 85-15 McIntyre on this. But and although I hated the interference, I hated AJ Styles coming into that ring. I thought it was stupid. They got what I was asking for. They got LA Knight a storyline for WrestleMania.
Right.
With another big name. They got that out of it. They got the right end game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the way they did it. But I guess what other way do you do it? When you're locked in a cage.
Well, they could have.
I think they could have done a better job production wise, actually showing him running in
Sure.
instead of just we're set on the ring and all of a sudden AJ Styles is on there.
Yeah.
Like
And
at first you're like, how the fuck did that happen? And then you realize, oh well, they're Bobby Lashley's being let out. They open the door and he runs through it. I think they should have shown him coming through the open door.
Or the easier setup would just be to have him be in the Elimination Chamber match to begin with, have LA Knight pin him, eliminate him, then have him roll into the ring, get something hard like a steel chair, waffle him a couple of times, and then you have your setup. You know, there are so many different ways to do it like that, but I agree with you. You know,
I mean, one of the reasons why when they promote these matches, one of the reasons why they're promoting is, hey, listen, no one can help anyone out. No, you know, you're locked into this demonic structure. And you know, no one, you know, your teammates can't help. The Judgment Day can't come. You know, the Bloodline can't come. You know, you're locked in. And I just thought that was, I didn't mind the end game of now we have LA Knight versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I didn't love that. I also thought the end was not awesome. Because I think they could have done a better job production wise, because that was a long time after Logan Paul got eliminated.
it was.
And they didn't show him still in the ring or on the apron or whatever. Like, I think they could have done a better job alerting us that Logan Paul had not gotten out of the ring yet.
Yeah, and I understand why they do it, why they don't tell you that, because they want some, like, it's supposed to be for the element of surprise. I mean, technically, the announcers are not supposed to call anything that doesn't happen on the monitor. So, and of course, the monitor is showing you.
Oh, I don't want them to call it, but I just want to be able to see it somewhat, that they're having trouble getting him out of the ring because he's so out of it or whatever.
Right. Okay.
You know, I don't want the announcers bringing him up, because then that ruins the bit. Like, I just wanted to see maybe the referees trying to help him out. You know what I mean? Like right before it happened.
Yeah.
Just to, you know, because once again, it's just like AJ Styles. It's like they both popped up out of nowhere and you didn't know how they got there.
Yeah.
And that's because the way the camera is showing you, these competitors are locked in a steel structure, and then two people that aren't in the steel structure show up out of nowhere. And that's where, you know what I mean, not letting us know that Logan Paul's still having trouble getting out. You know, it was confusing at the first second. Then I realized, oh, he never got out of the damn thing.
Well, we'll make sure to send that note up to Stamford, Connecticut for you.
Yeah.
Well,
and I could deliver it. I'm 45 minutes from Stamford. That's right. I could deliver that thing personally.
Stick it in an envelope and shove it straight up Triple H's ass.
Yeah, right up their candy asses.
Right on. What am I supposed to do with the chicken nuggets? But no, production quality aside from Mr. Kind Man, yeah, Drew punched his ticket and he will now be facing Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, which, you know, kind of goes back to the first thing we said, which, you know, if you're going to do a tag match between Cody and Seth and Roman and Rock, how do you, well, actually, sorry, I'm thinking in real time, folks. If Seth Rollins wrestles twice on night one at WrestleMania, and he's the guy who eats the pin, or he doesn't even have to eat the pin. He can just be in that match twice on the first night of WrestleMania and get his championship taken away from him, regardless of who wins, whether Drew beats him or whether, you know, he doesn't. Damian Priest can cash his money in the bank end. So
yeah, I mean, we know it's coming.
Well, it has to be soon.
Well, it has to be WrestleMania because I don't know. It expires, so I looked it up. It expires in 1 year. Okay. But Money in the Bank is after WrestleMania, so that means, you know, I mean, technically, you know, well, I get it. It just has to be WrestleMania. So So Finn Balor, they're going to defend their tag team belts at WrestleMania. and he's going to cash it in against one of the winners of these 2 matches.
Yeah, I see it. I think it'd be Seth Rollins and not Cody. I don't think it'd be Cody on night 2. I think they let him have that celebration. But
Oh yeah. No.
but yeah, I think you have a situation, or if not, I mean, maybe there's a situation where Damian Priest cashes in Monday night, then Monday after Raw WrestleMania. I mean, that's a possibility that happens too.
And I wouldn't expect it, but I would say also don't rule out the possibility of him taking another belt.
Yeah,
Maybe the Intercontinental he could take, or something like, if the situation presents itself. I mean, I
sure.
assume he's after one of the big belts. Seth's
Well, you would
belt.
hope so. I mean,
Yeah,
that's like
but
getting
what I'm
a
saying is,
yeah.
you
But
never know.
yeah. But
Because we
anyways,
have seen even Obafemi, a monster in NXT, he won a contract and he went after the North American Championship.
that's true.
So it's
That is true.
But by the way, this, I thought Lashley had a really good match. I thought the 3 people that I was most impressed with, or the 4 people I was most impressed with, in both of these matches were Tiffany Stratton, Liv Morgan, Bobby Lashley, and I thought Kevin Owens had a fabulous showing.
Yeah, KO did a great job.
Yeah,
He
but
was the
unfortunately,
MVP.
right after they had all 4 of them had their big moment,
Yeah,
they had to eat it, and I didn't like that.
yeah. No, there was a lot
By the
of
way, I don't know if you picked up Lashley when after he speared Logan Paul through the fucking thing. He is like he goes, "Oh fuck," and the microphone picked up on it, and then the sound went out for like 5 seconds on like a delay, but they picked this, and there were some dudes in that match really hurt.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Well,
they were like
Chamber.
Lashley was really hurt. Um, I don't think that back thing on Orton was completely part of it. Like I
No,
think he really hurt his back.
you think so?
Yeah, I mean I have a bad back, and some of his movements when your back's uncomfortable, like really uncomfortable, are genuine. Like I don't know
Right,
how you, like, just some of the ways he was moving
right.
told me his back was really banged up. Um, there was also, after he got spine busted by McIntyre, his fingers moved in a really weird
Uh,
way that told me, yeah, something's wrong with his spine, because it was just, there was just a weird, like, contorted fingers. Like, have you ever seen, like, when some people get concussed, you see like their hands move weird ways, or
yeah,
something like that. Like there's a reaction that can come from that. And Orton did this really weird mandible claw like finger thing when he got spine busted that really made me think that there was some nerve stuff there that showed itself.
yeah. No doubt. Well, I didn't pick up on any of that, but I guess I just thought he was selling. But
But it could be, but I
yeah,
thought, as someone that's had more surgeries than from sports injuries and back surgeries and everything like that, just some of his wincing and his movement and everything seemed very authentic to me.
yeah. Well, he's good at what he does, I guess. He's
Yeah.
out there selling it. Um, there you go. Let's move on to the last match, which is the Women's World Championship match. Rhea Ripley defeats Nia Jax to retain her championship. And I thought, it's my first observation, and maybe this was by that time I was getting tired, but I thought her reaction was very dull for coming out. Maybe I saw it differently or heard it with different ears or saw it with different eyes. But I didn't think Rhea's reaction was as big as it could have been.
What do you mean, reaction to winning?
No, her pop to come out.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't think that was. I thought that was going to be way, way, way bigger than it was, and maybe it was, and I just didn't hear it or didn't see it. Maybe it didn't translate to me, but I didn't think all night she didn't get great reactions. Um, and maybe that's just my observation, and maybe I'm totally wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know out there, please. I'd love to hear it. Put it in the comments below, or hit me up on Discord. You know the link right down there below. Click it and join, folks.
See, I missed her entrance
Okay.
because I was fast forwarding because I wanted to, I need to get on this show and I need to see everything. So I missed their entrance, but I thought she got received very well. I mean,
Sure.
and you want
Oh
to know
no,
the
don't
one
get me wrong.
reason why, like, as far as her being flipping to being the favorite because of where this match was, it was fascinating because Dominic Mysterio said, before, I'm going to Perth, Australia to support mommy and to support the Judgment Day. Um, but there's no way they could have brought him out with her because of she's
Right.
she's the fan favorite. They can't put the biggest fan, hated person alongside the hometown hero. Um, but yet he said he was going to be at that match prior. And so I'm glad they did it that way, where they didn't take him out and take some of her shine away.
Right.
Him booing.
Wow. I thought putting her up against Nia Jax was the wrong move anyway. I don't like Nia Jax. If she'd have stayed gone from WWE, I'd have been happy. She's a
She's not
walking botchamania reel. I just
Botchamania.
tell me when I'm telling lies. It's just god dang, man. Watching the whole match, I'm more afraid of the fact that Rhea might get permanently maimed or injured going into WrestleMania ahead of schedule than anything else. And Nia Jax, I just
Have you ever seen them not move all the monitors and iPads when they're perpendicular and have someone throw a wrestler on them? Like normally they clear
you talk
those
about
out.
you talk about the announce table.
Yeah, on the announce table. They had
Yeah,
iPads or
the
whatever, and they were
screens.
they were standing up and
Yeah,
she landed on her
yeah,
back landed on two monitors that were perpendicular. They were standing up on the table. They
yeah,
didn't have them flat. They didn't get rid of them. Like as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my God, that must fucking hurt.
yeah. I would imagine it's probably gonna smart a little,
Yeah, perpendicular iPads fucking right in the middle of your spine.
right? God dang. No, maybe I didn't catch that. Maybe I missed that. I was in the process of passing in and out, but
Nah, they
yeah. But um, I don't know. You're going to have to cover a lot more of this match because this is about the time where I just kind of went, you know what? My sleep is suffering.
well,
And
no, I think the match was good, but you just never thought she was gonna lose. But there
right,
was one point where it was like, holy shit, are they gonna have her lose? Like because they were really beating her up.
right,
And I think this was what I said prior, I think on the last show, is they're just making Rhea fallible. They're making her
yeah,
that she can be pushed around. Like for the longest time, no one could push around Rhea Ripley.
right,
So they're making this now, someone can push around her. Someone can push her around. And so they bring in the big lady to push her around. It's just
yeah.
this is a story of the bully being bullied.
Okay.
I think that's really what they were going for.
Speaking of bully being bullied, one name we didn't get in this, and I'm not calling her a bully, but we didn't see any Jade Cargill in the Elimination Chamber buildup, and I would have thought that would have happened. They debuted her at Royal Rumble. It seemed like she had some momentum. She was in the final three,
Yep.
and why? And I guess this would have been the question, not to skip away from Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax at all, but if you're going to have a challenger to a title, it's going to make her look fallible. Why wouldn't you already stick her in there with, Jade Cargill?
Yeah,
Cargill doesn't have to pin her.
right.
You could
I
protect Nia.
I mean, listen, you know, I would have survived watching that match if Naomi wasn't in it. So,
Right.
I mean, would Jade Cargill over Naomi make that match a lot more interesting? Certainly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you figure, as you said, you're the final three of the Royal Rumble. Shouldn't that get you into the,
Yeah.
in the Elimination Chamber?
You would think. You would think. But
I mean, maybe they're just handling a few more of these people with real kid gloves, like
yeah.
they're doing with Gunther. They're doing the anti MJF approach of AEW. Like, take our superstars and run them fucking into the ground, versus not have them around every week. I don't know.
Right. Well, in order to be around every week, you have to be around more than 1 week. And Jade hasn't been around every week.
Correct. Exactly.
So
Even if they want to put them in there with some tomato cans, they did that the other day with Braun Breaker. I was surprised. They're bringing back like Steve White.
right, the jobbers, right?
Yeah, they're they're
Steve
bringing back
White.
some of the tomato kids. I remember being in the Hartford Civic Center with my paper card, and it would be like Sergeant Slaughter versus Ricky Evans, and
Right? Mike
they had those
Jackson.
matches where they just went with, mostly when they were introducing people, like where they wanted to see their finisher, and all that stuff at the beginning of some storylines. But
Right.
by the way, one thing that does annoy me about
What's
wrestling
that?
right now: when is a finisher going to be a finisher again?
I know.
I can't. I, I don't understand. Like back in the day, like you did your finisher, you won. Like if I got to see 16 finishers, and now they have to somehow find ways to do a flying one just to have someone eat a pin. Like it's just, I don't know. I don't know when this all started.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably had to do with some politicking backstage, or I don't want to eat his finisher. He's going to have to eat mine.
Yeah, I
You
think
know?
you know what it is. You know where I think it started. I think it started when Hogan got up from a tombstone
I
of the
was
Undertaker.
just going to say, brother.
Yeah, I think that's when it started, where it's like, okay, yeah, we don't have to have a finisher be a finisher. We can have like, but now it's like you might have someone do their finisher 5 times in a match.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not a finisher then, is it? She didn't finish anybody.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hulk
They're
Hogan.
not finishers anymore. They're
Hulk
just people.
Hogan, you ruined professional wrestling.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. Anyhow, let me go over the sheet one more time. I think that will just about wrap us up for the day here. I know next time around on the next episode of ABW, which will be next week, God willing, we are going to do a special tribute to Sting, and then we're going to do a Kind Man top 5. It'll be Sting's retirement match next week, so I kind of want to get a little bit of a blurb in there for him, go over his career a little bit. Kind Man is going to be going over his top 5. Do you want to spoil it for him, Kind Man, or do you want to let him sweat it out for a week?
No, I can tell them, because we appreciate any feedback
Sure.
and any things. And by the way, if you got ideas for a top 5 list for me, send them over. The last one we did was an idea from a listener. So I'm going to do top 5 microphone personalities in wrestling history.
Very cool.
People that you just love to hear in the spots, in the
And is that everybody? Is that like
opponent.
ring announcers, backstage interviewers? Is it wrestlers? Is it everybody?
Wrestlers, and
Wrestlers.
or I guess it could also be a uh, a manager. I guess just top 5 people you wanted to hear on the mic. I'm not probably not ring announcers, and that like I'm
Right.
not gonna be number 5, Howard Finkel.
Howard Fink. Poor Fink.
Um, although that the young lady now could find her way if I included that. She is
Samantha Irvin.
fantastic. And as a listener pointed out to me recently, she's gone back to her good Chelsea Green introduction after abandoning it for a couple weeks.
It's funny you mentioned Chelsea Green twice. This is the same episode, but I always keep forgetting to bring this up, right? But so I told you that I belong to that WrestlingCrate.com thing, right? And I get all kinds of discounts, and sometimes I'll just get on there and be like, you know what? I'll get a mystery item. I'll get a mystery item. I'll get a mystery item. Well, I got a mystery item about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it is actually a Chelsea Green wrestling figure.
Oh, cool. I saw one that she promoted because I think I follow her on Twitter, and she posted a picture of a new one of her. It looked awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if this is that same one, but this is from the Major Wrestling Bendy's podcast, or Major Wrestling Figures podcast that they do. So they have their own toy line, for God's sakes. But yeah, I got a free, well, not free, I paid for it, but it wasn't that expensive, figure. And if my cat wasn't on my lap, I'd probably get up and go snag it.
Fantastic. By the way, for our listeners, our people have been in touch with her people trying to get her on the show. But
that would be great if we could get
no
Chelsea
success
Green.
as of yet.
If we could get Chelsea Green on the show, I don't know what we'd talk to her about, but
whatever she wanted to talk about.
I'd be like, hey, so just talk, just start saying words, just things.
Yeah.
I'll even introduce her like Samantha Urban does. Chelsea Green. I'll do it that way. I'll give her the old school AB tribute.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was Elimination Chamber. I would give this a very average score. Average. Like I said, I wasn't blown away by it. I have 2 favorite matches. They're tied for favorite matches. That doesn't mean they're great matches.
Right. I didn't think any match was great.
No. It was there.
What would be your grade? Like you saying mediocre, like what would be if we go the A, B, C, D, F, what would be your, would you give
C.
it?
Completely average. Nothing outstanding about this show at all. Just average. No title changes. No major earth-shattering things. No major spots that you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and go, holy fuck, remember that? Nothing super remarkable.
I thought there were some good moments.
There were.
I think the Lashley spear and I think the Tiffany Stratton moonsault were the highlights for me of that. But I'm not a Lashley guy, but I thought that was I thought that was good. But I'd give it a B-. I think as I said earlier, I think the Elimination Chamber pay-per-views are going to be slow no matter what.
Yeah.
You didn't have any matches where you, outside of the Elimination Chamber, and one of the Elimination Chambers included, where you didn't know who was going to win. So that's always like if we did the prediction belt on this one, I think the only difference we would have had is who won the women's Elimination Chamber. You would have taken, Bianca Belair, and I would have taken Tiffany Stratton, and we would have tied.
Both been wrong,
because in all of the other matches, we would have taken the exact same people, and we would have been 100% right.
That's right.
When we could do a pay-per-view and be 100% right, that can't be an A pay-per-view.
You're right. But such as life. The next pay-per-view we'll review I believe will probably be WrestleMania. I don't know if I'll have a Revolution review. I'm going to watch Revolution, but I don't know if I'll review it or anything. I might have a little bit for you, but more so than that, I think as long as we're planning episodes ahead of time, I'm probably going to want to do another old school pay-per-view review, and I'll let you guys know what pay-per-view that's going to be next week so that you guys can prepare for that and watch along with us. We'll give you our thoughts on it. And I'm thinking about going really old school this time. I don't know. I haven't thought my choice all the way through yet, but I want to try to feature things that aren't WWE as much.
Yeah.
So any interesting pay-per-views? I was teasing Mr. Kindman with watching an AWA pay-per-view, which there aren't many of those. They're too few and far between, but Super Clash was a good show. Super Clash 3 was okay. But we'll see. We'll see where I land. Maybe it'll be another WCW pay-per-view. Maybe it'll be an AEW pay-per-view, or maybe it'll be a very old WWE pay-per-view. Maybe it'll be a classic WrestleMania. We just don't know. In the lead up to WrestleMania, that would be.
I think like a classic WrestleMania, I think would almost be eye-opening.
Yeah.
Because some of how much the sport has evolved.
Yeah. And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe I will. Maybe we will do WrestleMania 10.
It is not as fast as it is today.
No.
These people get bigger, faster, stronger every year.
But that is that's the way to go. Maybe it will be WrestleMania. For whatever reason, WrestleMania 10 just pops into my head.
Good.
That was a good one. Well, was it a good one? Is that the one where Brett wrestled twice the same night?
I do not know.
I think it is. I want to say that WrestleMania 10 is the night that Brett wrestled twice in the same night. He wrestled Yokozuna in the main event, and then he wrestled Owen Hart in the opening match and lost to Owen. Oh.
Yokozuna was part of one of the worst matches in wrestling history that I happened to be there live for. A Rumble, and I believe it was '94. It was at the Providence Civic Center, and it was Yokozuna versus The Undertaker in a casket match. We had this huge fucking monstrosity of a casket for Yokozuna, and for some reason, everyone started coming out of the back and helping Yokozuna. So it was like 20-on-1 in the ring until they finally got The Undertaker in the casket. And then they did this awful bit where they had like The Undertaker like rise
right
to the rafters. They like put him on a cross like he was dying, and they put like a stuffed Undertaker, and they had this thing being pulled up by cables to the rafters trying to like show that he died.
Yeah.
And I just remember it being so awful. First of all, why are you making the championship main event a 20-on-1?
Yeah.
And why is everyone in Yokozuna's corner? Like it just that was, and I was there live to see it, and it was like, this is fucking awful.
If I remember correctly, that was the death of The Undertaker. Yokozuna killed him, and he was gone. Undertaker was gone for a long time, and they brought in a fake Undertaker. And this Undertaker was a lot shorter, and he was a lot stiffer. I think they used Brian Lee for that, didn't they? If I'm not mistaken, primetime Brian Lee was the fake Undertaker. And then they brought the real Undertaker back, and they had to differentiate him, so they gave him purple gloves and a purple tie.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't know my wrestling history, but I think that would be.
There was an Undertaker versus Undertaker match.
There was Brian Lee
that ended the fake Undertaker.
That's right, Underfaker.
Yes.
Well, I have certainly had a lot of fun talking to you today, Mr. Kindman, going down memory lane and talking about this pay-per-view. And is there anything else you want to discuss today, or anything else you want to?
No.
No. All right. Well then. we want to thank all of you, you, for taking the time to be with us today. Please consider dropping an elbow on that subscribe button. And if you're feeling extra saucy, frog splash your way over to that little thumbs up emoticon. We would surely appreciate it. And please share our channel with other people you think might like this sort of thing. It helps us grow, and it helps you because you get more content. That's right. Once again, thank you all so much, and we'll see you all right here next time. Take care, everybody.